Okay, so here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation, like as always we do. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30 and duration is also 30-second long, and background color is black color, and simply hit OK. Then as always we will go to choose grid and guide option and we will simply hit on title self action. Then I'm going to close this render queue, I don't need that. Then I'm going to press Ctrl N to create another composition and I'm going to call it as scene 01, which is means scene 1. And over here width I'm going to choose 1980, height 180, frame rate 30 and duration, let's go and choose 60 seconds, and which means 1 minute, and simply hit OK. Same, we will go to the main animation comp, and also over here we will press Ctrl K to open the project settings again. And if you want, then you can increase the duration of this as well, like you can choose, let's say 1.30 seconds maybe, and simply hit OK. Okay, so let's go to the scene 1, and now we will try to animate the scene 1 of our entire animation. So first thing first, we need to create our atom. So press Ctrl N to create another composition and we will call it as atom. And for this I'm going to choose width 1080 and height also 1080, frame rate 30 and duration we are going to choose 60 seconds, which means 1 minute, and simply hit OK. Then at the center of our atom there is nucleus. So for that I'm going to select this atom and hit Ctrl D to duplicate, hit enter, and let's call it as nucleus. Okay, like that. Then double click to open this, and for this nucleus I'm going to select my ellipse tool. I don't need any stroke, so I'll delete the stroke. And for the fill I'm going to choose white color and simply double click to open this. Then select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Select the second layer, go to the fill options and let's delete this fill. And for the stroke I'm going to choose white color and stroke weight, let's choose 2 pixels. Then select this first layer, go to the contents, ellipse 1, ellipse path, and over here we need to reduce the size of this, so we will get this kind of structure. Okay, so this is going to be our main nucleus, and for that we need certain amount of animation over here. So for that I'm going to go in effect and presets panel, and I'm going to search for effect called 4 color gradient. So simply type 4 and we will get this 4 color gradient, and simply double click to apply. Now over here we are getting this 4 colors, and now because our animation is in a blue kind of format, so select the different version of blue color only. You are free to choose different colors, like you can choose this purple, not purple but kind of pink color as well. It's totally up to you. I'm going to select this one over here, and over here I'm going to select something like this color. Okay, and let's bring those points over here like that. Okay, and now let's select this and we will create one keyframe at each point over there. Okay, and hit U and zoom in a little bit. Let's go to around 1 second, and now all we need to do is that we need to change the position of these points somewhere around like this over here. Then go to 2 seconds, then move this point over here, this point over here, this point over here, and this point over here. Then at 3 seconds I'm going to select this, move this over here, this over here, this should be over here, and this should be over here. Then at 4 seconds I'm going to simply copy my first keyframe, so hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, so we'll get something like that. And now if you see, we are getting this kind of animation. Okay, then we will select those keyframes, and by holding Alt you can reduce the duration up to 3 seconds as well. So what will happen, that animation will get a little bit faster. Then alt click on this stopwatch and we are going to search for loop out expression, and we will copy that expression by hitting Ctrl C. We will alt click over here, press Ctrl V, Ctrl V, alt click Ctrl V. So what will happen, that we will get this animation continuously in a looping format. Okay, and along with that, if you see that we have the stroke over here, if you want to choose 4 pixels as well, you can select this portion and you can decrease the scale little bit, and you can select this and decrease the scale little bit over here as well. Now there should be certain amount of animation for the stroke as well, so I'm going to select the stroke. I'll go to the add menu and I'm going to choose trim path. Go to the trim path, let's make this end value 80. Okay, or let's make this 90 or something. Then alt click on the stopwatch and search for time star 70. Okay, so what will happen, that we will get this animation over here. Now let's go to the atom, hit Control 0, and let's bring our nucleus over here. Then press S for scaling option, and let's scale it the size. Let's zoom out, and let's see. Yeah, this looks good to me. Let's make this value 30 just for now. Okay, after that we need a certain amount of orbit kind of structure. So for that I'm going to select this ellipse and simply double click to create one ellipse, and go to the ellipse path and unlink this ellipse path, or let's link and let's decrease the size of this path somewhere around over here. Let's unlink this and let's move this portion somewhere around like this. Okay, I think this much height looks good to me. Now let's select this portion, and this is going to be our path, so I'll hit enter, and let's type path over there like that. Now over here, go to the contents, ellipse 1, ellipse path, right click and choose convert to Bezier path like that. So you can go to the stroke options, and over here you will get this option called taper. So if you go and if you increase this start value, and see, we are getting this kind of structure. Similarly, if you increase this end value, you will get something like that. So let's make this strength of this 80 and end of strength also 80 like that. Okay, and you can easily adjust this end, ease out, etc. After that, what we can do over here, I'm going to select this add menu. I'm going to choose trim path and go to the trim path, and over here you can adjust this offset value so you can easily animate this structure. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one keyframe over here, or you can simply alt click on the stopwatch over here as well, and you can search for time star 50. So what will happen after that, if you see, we are getting this path animation over here as well. Now there is some electron that should move on this path. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my ellipse tool, and this time I'm going to choose white color for this, and I'm going to close this, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse and press Ctrl Alt Home. Then I'm going to select this path, or instead of path, let's do one thing, we will call it as orbit. Then in search option, search for path, and we will create one keyframe at path. Let's select this and hit Ctrl C to copy. Then we will select this shape, which is our electron. So let's name it as electron, and go to the ellipse 1, ellipse path, or simply hit position instead of that. Select this position and hit Ctrl V. So what will happen, the path keyframe that we have copied for this orbit, it's now pasted at the position. So now if you hit play, we will get something like that. Sometimes what happens that instead of it's directly coming over here, sometimes it comes over here like that. Okay, so at that point, what you need to do, you need to click on this position and make sure that all the keyframes are selected, and make sure that you are at the start of your current time indicator, and then you have to bring this properly like that. Okay, so make sure to do that. Now I'll keep it as it is, and now if I see, I'll get this electron orbiting around it, but at the end it's stopping because we haven't applied our loop out expression. So by alt clicking, I'm going to simply apply loop out expression over there. Okay, like that. Now if you see, we are getting this kind of animation over here. If you want, you can select this electron, you can hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, you can press S and you can increase the size of it like that. You can bring this downwards, you can press T for opacity, and you can make the opacity 20. So what will happen, that we will get this kind of structure. If you want, you can select this and increase the scale of it. So we will get this kind of structure. Now after that, I'm going to select this electron V2, which is this one. I'm going to press S. Let's make this 100 initially, create one keyframe, go to around 20 frame. Let's make this 160 value, so it will blow up like that. Go to around 10 frame forward, copy first keyframe by hitting Ctrl C, Ctrl V, then select those keyframe, and we are going to search for F9. Hit F9, then alt click on the stopwatch, and we are going to search for loop out expression. Okay, so now if I hit play, we will get this